I knew it, 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 I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was a bunch of bull hockey, man. I knew that Jayz silver suit about the 13-year-old with some BS. But no, you had people in my comments, they were arguing me down. This happens and it could be true because this is how the pedophiles do it, and I'm not denying any of that. I've never was denying any of that. But you just can't pee in my face and tell me it's raining just because these guys are billionaires. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. I understand they're billionaires, but everybody that's a billionaire is not into some old super kinky junk or some P. Diddy type junk. And just because you add P. Diddy's name and said, oh, he was with P. Diddy, so that doesn't make him guilty of, that doesn't mean it's probably true. No, that doesn't mean it's probably true. Yes, you're back on the 808 Lounge with your boy Clint Josie, man. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing out there, man? I know that I haven't been, making any content, last few days, and y'all my tribe, y'all my loungers, so I like to be transparent with you guys. I have a nephew. His name is Ashton. He has a very severe case of sickle cell anemia, and his health went, made a turn for the worst, and I really couldn't focus the last days. I was really doing a lot of praying and worrying, about him. And so it was really hard for me to try to focus and bring you guys content. But I thought that, you guys deserve to know that. But he's doing a lot better. He is doing a lot better, actually. And, I think he's going to be okay. But I'm just letting you guys know. But back to the content. Yeah, so we talking about this silver suit that was against Jayz. Saying that he and Diddy R-worded a 13-year-old. We have new news that comes out and says, the Jane Doe, they want her to stay anonymous, that was supposedly, allegedly R-worded when she was 13, actually did a interview with NBC News. She did an NBC exclusive, and it really, everything unraveled. Then everything kind of really unraveled, and it just didn't look good, and there was a lot of inconsistencies in her story when she did the interview with NBC News. And one of the main inconsistencies was when she said she got to the after party, she said she had spoke with a couple artists, a couple artists that she wanted to see, in the VMAs, that she wasn't able to make it to. But I guess she saw them at the after party, and she claimed to see Benji and Joel Madden, from the rock band Good Charlotte. Yeah, so she claimed she spoke with them, and she claimed she spoke with Benji about a tattoo of the Last Supper that he has on his forearm. Supposedly she said she spoke with him about that because her religious background. But comes to find out that they spoke with Benji and Joel Madden, and they claimed that they weren't even there. They didn't even go to the VMAs or after party that evening. They were somewhere in the Midwest touring. So that kind of that kind of, threw it off. And I have videos, and I have some clips that I want to show you guys from that interview. But first, I would like you guys to subscribe, share, follow my YouTube at 808-Lounge, my Facebook, TikTok at 808 Lounge. Yes, sir. Let's get into it. But yeah, she claims she had. She also said she spoke with Fred Durst, so from Limp Bizkit there. So, and I don't think that he was there either. So those were, some of the consistencies. She also said her father picked her up that night after all the situation, after everything happened, after she allegedly fought off Diddy and Jay-Z. She ran through the party with her clothes in front of her. Nobody noticed. Nobody paid her attention. She supposedly ran to her gas station, where she called her father. Now let's remember, she's 5 hours away from her home. She said her friend took her and drove her 5 hours away to the VMAs, dropped her off at 13 years old, and she's autistic. Let's not forget that. So she waited on her father for 5 hours to drive, 4 to 5 hours to drive from wherever they live to pick her up. And he never said anything to her. He never asked her what happened or anything. Okay, they did their research. They asked the father. The father says he doesn't remember that. The father said he doesn't even remember anything like that. And he was saying he pretty sure he would remember it if, he's not saying it didn't happen, but he's just saying he can't recall it.
The woman says she spoke to Combs's limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to him about his tattoo that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the.
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, "I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind," he said.
So come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know. You have your people out there that's just going to believe anything about a star, believe anything about a rich person, because you have these people out there that feel like you have to be a creep. You have to be weird. You have to have done something weird, sold your soul, did something to obtain that type of wealth. So they're just going to believe it off rip. We're living in this culture these days that, this Me Too culture is just like, and then the internet doesn't think logically most of the time. In their mind, anything could happen. How? No, it's probably still true. They don't care about all the red flags showing that, man, this sounds like some BS to me. They're going to still try to believe it, man. Because you have people that, if you ask me, that don't feel like success, that type of success could be really obtained by just working hard and just, even just being a shrewd businessman. We've all heard that Jayz is a shrewd businessman. Yeah, he's done a lot of cutthroat stuff in business that people don't agree with. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of ways that you level up in that business. Yeah, I'm not saying that's not true, but come on, dealing with kids and all this and all the weird stuff. Come on, it doesn't always have to be that. And yes, we know it's a lot of them that that are into that type of activity, but it's a lot of people that aren't rich that are into that type of activity also. So come on, let's not you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not just take all the super wealthy people and just throw them in a hole just because a few of them have done this, and just let's give them their day in court too, man. Let's let them plead their case also. So yeah, man. So it's crazy, and Jay-Z had some things to say, and Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro had some things to say.
In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said this incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory.
Then here's Alex Spiro. It's stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling his false story in the press. We asked the court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and we'll take up the matter of an additional discipline for Mr. Buzbee and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. Holy.
And if you ask me, I think that lawyer, Tony Buzbee, I think he's just really out to get what he can get, man. I think he's bluffed a few people on these crazy civil cases and these just outlandish civil cases. And I feel like a lot of people just settled, so they wouldn't even have to deal with it. It wouldn't even come into the, into the media, and it wouldn't be spoke of, because just like I said, whether it's right or wrong, Jay-Z still has this over his head. He still has, have to worry about if certain deals that he's doing with people, will they back up from him? Will they believe it? You know what I'm saying? So that's why he had to get it out of here quick. He had to, get this situation taken care of quick, and had to make sure that somehow inconsistencies and somehow we can show that this lady is not telling the truth. And when she was confronted about the inconsistencies, this is what she had to say to NBC News.
When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. The accuser's attorney, Tony Buzbee, said, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress.
Yeah, so she's still standing. She's doubled down. And she's saying, oh, well, all that other stuff, I might have made a mistake with that. But what happened to me was definitely not a mistake. But lady, if you mean to tell me you thought you thought you sat down and had a whole conversation with Benji Madden, but he was never there, so who did you really have that conversation with? And you spoke and you called out his brother Joel. So who did you really see, and who did you really think you were speaking with? You know what I'm saying? And then that places doubt in our minds. Okay, if you could have sworn you spoke to Benji Madden, you could have sworn you saw or knew who Diddy and Jay-Z were. Were you that much of a big rap fan then? You just knew their faces, but you were mistaking the faces of Benji and Joel? I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm just asking. I'm asking some of the questions I feel like the reporter and the person who was interviewing her at NBC should have asked. But yeah, man. So I just had to bring y'all back this because, I had a lot of people just, in my comments that were kind of looking at me like I was crazy for not believing it, or you know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry, I just don't believe. Now, if it would have made sense and her story would have lined up and it would have kind of made sense, it didn't have to make sense all the way. But it was just too much stuff that didn't make sense, you know? And I know some cases aren't going to make sense because they were from so far, you know, it was so long ago. But I'm sorry. I just didn't buy this one. I just didn't buy this one like I don't buy some of the ones that came at Diddy. Yeah, but man, you know, I'm not going to talk y'all to death about this, man. It's Clint Josiah over here at 808 Lounge, and man, I'm happy to be back, man. Happy to be back with my tribe, with my loungers. And I just had to come bring this, man, because I feel like some of this is going on. I'm not saying that people out there that aren't doing stuff that people are, you know, people aren't, you know, is not victims out there. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is we definitely have to watch out for those who are just trying to milk the situation right now. Just are really trying to say, hey, we know you got the money. We got some shit we want to say about you. Give us some money before we say it out in the public. And whether it's true or not, you know, you got 70-60% of the internet's just going to think it's true just because they believe damn near everything that come across their screen. Yeah, man, that we got to tighten up on that. But this is Clint Josie over here at 808 Lounge. And we're going to be signing out, man. I'll be back with y'all soon. Yes, sir.